Alright gamers, it's your boy Waffles back at it again with another video. Alright, catch this right. So I was talking to somebody on XMPP, which you should totally join and message me, cause you can experience my bullshit firsthand. But yet again, he brought up Louis Rossmann, cause that's like a running joke at this point, is how much I hate Louis Rossmann. And so he brought up though that Gray J, and I was like, yeah, I've talked about Gray J before. I've talked about how I think that his idea of like quote free software, not free, but isn't like freedom respecting is kind of bullshit, and I haven't really made a video quite addressing the Gray J situation. I've tried to, but I didn't have it like this. So basically, his reasoning, he says, for Gray J being a source available but no forks, which is kind of my main contention. I think there needs to be forkability or allow forks, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I think you need to have that in order for it to be freedom respecting. And his reason against that is he doesn't want people to just git clone and re-upload it to the Play Store with malware attached to it, like NewPipe does. And here's kind of the core difference between GrayJ and NewPipe is GrayJ is a copyrighted name and branding. So even if I were to make my own app and call it GrayJ, I wouldn't be allowed to do that because it's copyrighted by fucking Fuda or whatever the fuck his company's name is. Oh my god, I always think it's that fucking anime shit. Anyways, whatever the fuck his company's name is, fucking rename that shit. It sounds too much like Fuda. But so here's what Mozilla does, right? Is you're allowed to fork Firefox, but you have to call it something else, and you can't use the Firefox branding. You'll have to like for LibreWolf, you got to make your own icon. You gotta rename it, and I don't know to what extent that is, but yeah, I mean, you can't just like republish an app called GrayJ and make it the exact same thing. A fork would mean you'd have to like call it something else, like LibreJ or whatever, and it would be a fully free and open source fork of GrayJ, and maybe that one wouldn't have or would be forkable, and you could re-upload LibreJ all you want. So, but that's not your problem anymore as long as you're still the upstream fork. So what ends up happening though is he doesn't quite understand free software. I don't think he respects free software. He obviously the obvious reason, because like I said, I just kind of debunked his whole argument right there by saying all you have to do is copyright your branding, and then there's no problem because you can't just re-upload an app called GrayJ to the Play Store. Like holy shit, what a fucking concept. But what happens is he's got this idea that he needs to make money. That's really what it comes down to, is he's got a product and he's trying to sell you a product. He doesn't really care that it's privacy respecting. I mean, I'm sure that's on the forefront that he's trying to sell to people like that, but it's hard to sell it to a group of free software enthusiasts when you don't really understand the tenets of free software. And your product kind of violates a few of those. So if I were him, I probably would have redone this and I would have made it source available, open source, actually open source, but I would have trademarked the name GrayJ, and I would have trademarked the branding so that way forks would be, you couldn't mistake it with GrayJ, because that's allegedly his reason. But really what it comes down to is he just doesn't want any competition selling the same product as his, and God forbid they may make a better one than he can. you know. But that's just me. So once again, it's kind of a rebuttal against what Louis Rossmann says, because I really think he's in the wrong space. A lot of the stuff that he says would work well if he wasn't trying to market source available software. His stuff would kind of make more sense if he was selling proprietary software, and I'm sure that there is a market for that. But I don't personally like it because I'm more into freedom respecting software, and his is kind of privacy respecting, but it's not freedom respecting, and that's kind of where I draw the line. Of course, I have bought Grey J because I did back when it was new. Because like, why not? You know, throw him some money for it. But it turned out to be kind of a buggy piece of shit, so I went back to New Pipe. And Odyssey doesn't have ads anymore, so I can just use their app without any problems. It was basically a YouTube app for me. Because God, like nobody I subscribe to on YouTube actually keeps their Odyssey updated anymore. It's so sad. And mainly the reason is because the moderation on Odyssey is all self-imposed or whatever. So a lot of them don't check their channel, and it kind of makes it a dead platform, honestly. But I can't sync my channel to YouTube, or sorry, to Odyssey anyway. So what the fuck does it matter? You know. All right, thanks.